Hey guys, so I thought it would be really fun to do a Never Have I Ever game with you right here on YouTube. I'm sure you've played that game, Never Have I Ever, where you have like 10 fingers up, then you put them down. Anyway, we're not gonna do it that way. We are going to have two buttons on screen, and I'm just gonna go through some of the questions that you and I had talked about on Instagram. We're gonna be covering that in this video. There's no need for an introduction because if you're playing Never Have I Ever with me, then we probably already know each other, and you probably are already subscribed to the Debt Free Millennials channel. And if you aren't, hello.
Hi.
Let's get you signed up and subscribed so you can be part of the DFM fam. Let's go ahead and get into this list because there's some really funny ones in here. All right, the first one. Okay, first, did I mention we're gonna have the ever button here and the never button here. All right, cool, let's have them on screen. All right, the first one is enjoyed a beer. Please. Do you know who I am? And do we know each other? Definitely ever. Okay, been debt free as an adult. Ever. Yes, absolutely. I actually became debt free when I was 25, which is kind of crazy to think about now that I'm 33 and I'm like, wow, as a 25-year-old. Now I'm looking at current 25-year-olds and I'm like, that's really cool. That's awesome. Okay, next one. Paid for a vehicle in full. Yes, ever. We paid for our 2015 Subaru Forester in cash completely. That was an amazing moment when I walked into the pre-owned dealership and they're like, how will you be financing? I said, cashier's check in total, please and thank you. Okay, next one. Skinny dipped. You haven't lived if you haven't skinny dipped, so ever. Been to Ireland. Ugh, never. I wish, okay, so Ireland is definitely on my bucket list. I really want to go to Ireland. The thing about Ireland though is like when you go to Europe, when I'm going to Europe, I want to see a whole bunch of different places, and because Ireland is an island, it makes it, I feel like, as like less accessible. Tell me if I'm wrong, anybody from Europe. Is that wrong of me to think that way? Maybe it is, and maybe I just need to like add that to my like next Euro trip. All right, next one. Had a student loan. Yes, ever. I had multiple student loans to the tune of $35,000. Next one, smoked a cigarette. Unfortunately. Okay, so of course, you know, you're curious about things sometimes. I was like, oh, what does that even taste like? Just more out of a curiosity than anything. Let me tell you, if you never tasted one, it tastes terrible. There was no amount of Coca-Cola that I could chug to get that taste, that icky tobacco taste out of my mouth. And you know what's really weird about like past Justine's decisions is that I decided to try it again, I think maybe at least 2 more times. And each time I was like, no, I remember why I didn't like this experience. It tastes terrible. Okay, next one, broken a bone. Never. I've never broken a bone, surprisingly. I've had a terrible accident on one of those electric scooters and got a concussion from it. Never broken a bone. Next one, had credit card debt. Never. Never had credit card debt. In fact, I didn't even use credit cards at all until Kyle and I got married and until after I had paid off all of my student loan debt, because I was kind of in that moment really kind of ingrained, unfortunately, in the Dave Ramsey method of like no credit cards are evil. However, I never had an issue with credit cards because I never used one. I didn't know what I didn't know. And that's when Kyle and I started talking about, hey, you can actually use credit cards to your advantage to earn points and rewards and redeem that for travel. And we've done that multiple times. So there you go. Off the soapbox. Next one. Some of these get really personal. Gotten a Brazilian wax. Yes. Okay, don't recommend it. It was very painful. Very painful. Did not enjoy a Brazilian wax at all. Okay, next one. Not checked the budget for 2 weeks. Yes, ever. I have definitely, I remember there was a point in time where I hadn't checked the budget in over 2 months. This was before I started Beers and Budgeting. Beers and Budgeting, if you haven't checked out that playlist, please do so, because that definitely keeps us accountable, because a lot of you all are like, hey, when's the next Beers and Budgeting episode coming out? I'm like, oh crap, yeah, we have to go over our budget. But before then, there had been several months that had gone by, and I was like, oof, I can't do that. But definitely haven't checked the budget for 2 weeks for sure. Next one, been to a funeral. I have several, family and friends. They're not fun. Next one, drank coffee. Hello? Can I push this button multiple times? Okay, next one, understood accounting. Can I push both of them? Okay, so basically what I gathered from my accounting classes in college is assets and liabilities equals owner's equity. Yeah, assets minus liabilities equals owner's equity. See, I'm not even sure if I'm telling you correctly, but I don't really know much about accounting. That is why I have a CPA. Next one, owned cryptocurrency. Never. I don't think. If I own crypto, it might have come to me as a free stock via Robinhood, but it's something that I am curious about. I'm definitely interested in learning more about, but I don't currently own any. Okay, next, paid interest on a credit card. Never. But I will caveat this one with, I did incur a late fee for a credit card back in the day because I forgot to pay it on the due date. I was traveling, and what I ended up doing is I called the credit card company and I said, look, I never have missed a payment. I've never been late. Is there any way that you can waive this late fee? And then, you know, of course they look at your account, they see how long you've been a customer, they see the history of on-time payments, and they were awesome. This is with Chase, by the way, and Chase was like, yeah, of course. No problem, we'll waive that $35 late fee. Next one, done a keg stand. Why are all of these about drinking? Enjoyed a beer, drink coffee, done a keg stand. Yeah, I was in college, you guys. Like this was a thing. You gotta do one once in your life, even if it was terrible. Okay, next one, been out of the US. Yes, been out of the US multiple times. I love international travel. It is one of those things that gets you out of your comfort zone, that helps you develop and grow as a person, and realize that while I do enjoy living in the US and that we do have a lot of opportunities here, there are different ways to live outside of this country. And I feel like when I studied abroad in Australia, I was a sophomore in college. That was really my first big international experience. And even though Australia isn't that different from the States, you know, they speak English there, the way of life and their culture is different. And I found that when I came back from my semester abroad, I kind of had that reverse culture shock of like, oh my God, you know, the US, we're so focused on just running that hamster wheel and getting to the next phase, next phase, next phase. I'm guilty of it to this day, but I realized there are different ways of living, and I wanted to explore more of that by visiting other countries. So since been to Europe and Canada, I'm like literally looking at my map now. Europe, Canada, Mexico, you know, a whole bunch of different countries, but really I've seen very little of this world, and I would love to do Asia. I would love to do Japan, Thailand, Vietnam, Korea. Those are kind of my top 4 Asian countries that I would like to do. Also, Anthony Bourdain, I am a big fan of. Anytime that I would watch his old episodes and he would go to these Asian countries, I'm just like fascinated with it. Plus, I love Asian food, so I think it would be really fun. All right, next one, been to jail. No, thank you, Lord. I have never been to jail. I'm acting like there was a time that I should have gone to jail. No, I don't think so. Oh, okay, let's move on. Worked with a financial advisor. Yes, I have. And while the experience was, you know, okay with that person in general, the whole process of working with a financial advisor and the amount of money that goes into working with one, I just do not recommend. Take a look at your advisor fees. If they're anything over 1% per year, plus the fees that you have to pay on the funds that you invest in multiple funds, mind you, ask your advisor, how much did I pay you in fees last year? And they would be hard pressed to give you that answer. And if that's the case, you might think about switching it up and perhaps even self-managing it. Now, I'm not a financial advisor, but this is just my own experience with working with one. I find that when I take the opportunity to learn things about my investments, that I can make better decisions about my money, and nobody cares more about your money than you do. Okay, next one. Bought a house. Never. And hopefully soon we can buy a house. We are actively saving up for a big fat down payment that is going to help. Okay, last one for our Never Have I Ever game. This one's a great one. Watched Lord of the Rings. Boom. Okay, I will actually, maybe I press both of these buttons because I've watched the first 2 of the Lord of the Rings, or maybe the first 1.5. I can't remember. So during the pandemic, when we had nowhere to go, nothing to do, Kyle and I were like, let's watch the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and we'll go through that series. So the first one I watched all the way through for sure. Really liked it. Had to watch it with subtitles on. I feel like once you hit your 30s, you just have to watch television with subtitles anymore to understand. Also, the names and stuff in Lord of the Rings were like, what? Who's Gandalf? Who's this person? That? So it really helped. Then I think I got through maybe the first hour of the second movie. I can't quite remember. So I think I got through part of the second one. So I got part of the Two Towers, where Frodo and Sam, I believe, are the ones that are going into that area. People who are big Lord of the Rings fans that are watching me try to talk about this, they're like, shut up, just stop, Justine. So I'm going to. Anyway, that's as far as I got. Really enjoyed it. We'll probably try to pick it up and watch it again. Thanks for playing Never Have I Ever with me. This was kind of fun. If you like this style of video, this was a little bit different, give this one a big thumbs up, and that'll let me know that maybe we could turn this into a little mini series and we can just hang out, talk about things that we've done or not done financially, and keg stands and smoking cigarettes. Okay, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.